Then the baby's heart rate start to drop. She trying to tell me say it's a boy because when I just tell her to stuff it back in. I start ball. The lady hang up on her daughter 9 months pregnant and hungry. She hang up on me.
Hello mate, a Spaniard Monday, now you play the London, dun 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 dun. London, dun 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 dun. London.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and in today's video, I'm sure you can see by the title, I'm going to be giving you guys a little story time about my labor and delivery experience. So I was not going to do this video or drop it until I got to 1,000 subscribers, and thankfully I did get to 1,000 subscribers. So thank you for all my new subbies, and thank you for all the OG people who have stuck with me from forever ago. So before I get into the little story time, once again I want to say thank you for everybody who has subscribed to my channel from the get-go, and thank you to even those who have just subscribed. It's been a journey for me. I'm usually a very shy person, and doing YouTube I've actually been coming out of my shell. So yeah, it's been a growth journey for me basically, and I know I have a long way to go. It is something I want to take seriously, and so I am going to continue to try and improve on my videos and improve on my content. So that is basically one of my New Year's resolutions. Yeah, and I know from time to time I might upload a video and then I'm just like, oh, this is kind of boring, I'm not really, you know, give much, or sometimes I'm kind of just like holding back because I don't really want to put too much of my life on the internet. So yeah, it's definitely something that I've been going back and forth with, but now that I've gotten to the 1,000 subscribers that I've been waiting on for the past like 3 years, I know that there's hope and I can continue to just improve and to grow. So for this year I'm going to try and make a lot more entertaining content, which might mean that some videos I may not upload if I'm not 100% sure of it. So yeah, I'm going to ensure that I quit the boring videos. I'm going to try and elevate my craft, do something a bit more creative now and then. And yeah, but that's why I really do need you guys to kind of weigh in sometimes and give me some suggestions, because obviously I cannot read minds, so I don't really know much of what you guys want to see. So it would be really helpful if you guys could, you know, leave your video suggestions below. So either way, that's enough talking from me. But yeah, just all to say, look out for a lot more fun and exciting videos in this year to come, as we're on this journey and I'm trying to take this a bit more seriously. Yeah, transparency. So yeah, let's get back to the video of my labor and delivery story time. First, let's start by saying my pregnancy in itself was not too bad. I did not have like a bad experience throughout, but I will say that I do not enjoy being pregnant. I do not enjoy being pregnant. I don't know how some people do it. I see they're pregnant and they're just glowing and they're still taking their pictures and posing. I just feel fat and I feel unattractive. I feel unlike my usual self. So yeah, for me, pregnancy is just not it. You know, like I like being me, and I know it's not permanent, but even though I still have a lot of work to do to bounce back. But yeah, the actual pregnancy itself and the body changes and all of that, I don't really enjoy. Yeah, but apart from that, I don't think my experience was really bad in terms of the fact that I didn't have much, like, you know, like, what do you call it now, the downsides of pregnancy. Like, yeah, I had a little heartburn here and there. I did have like a period of time where I was getting a lot of heartburn actually, but the most difficult pregnancy experience for me was the pelvic pain. What's it called again? Pelvic girdle pain or something like that. Yeah, that was like the most difficult part for me because I was struggling to get out of bed and stuff like that. Just walking around sometimes was really painful, so much that I actually had to go to physiotherapy just to see like if there was anything they could do to help me. But yeah, the pelvic girdle pain was terrible. And even now that I've had the baby, I still do kind of feel it sometimes when I'm laying down. And yeah, it's not as bad, but I do feel it here and there. But yeah, so my experience overall wasn't that bad, but there's a lot that could have been better. But it just required a bit more planning, So if I had planned in advance and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing, that is what I'm doing, which technically I did have a plan, but then I kind of just strayed away from my plan, you know, because what they say, if you plan it, it never happens and whatever, and then everything happens in its own time. So I kind of just went away from my planning, which I kind of wish I didn't. But we move. If I were to do this again, very big if, then I would know what to expect next time. So yeah, it's kind of like your first baby. It's like your lesson, your learning experience, you know, and then after that, hopefully you can improve upon it. But anyways, so as for my actual labor day now, story time. So my actual labor day, leading up to labor, actually, you know, when you're watching shows and all of that, and you see this person water break and it's just this big gush of water coming out, I did not have that. I was actually looking out for that so I can know if my water breaks. So leading up to labor, like every time I see like any form of wetness or any discharge, I'm kind of like, oh, is this it? Because I was told previously that it doesn't have to be a gush, it can be like a little trickle. So I'm like, you know, is this it? I'm not even sure. But then if I don't feel any pain, I'm like, oh no, probably not. So when I was actually in labor now, I was laying down. It was like 5 a.m. in the morning, and I felt like an actual trickle coming down, and I was like, what is that? Because I didn't feel like I wanted to pee or anything. So I got up and I went to the toilet. Nothing really was there, it just my panty was a bit wet, and that's it. And I called my mom because she's meant to be my labor partner as well. I called her and I was like, I think my water broke, but I'm not 100% sure. And then she's like, oh, if I'm feeling any pain. So I said, no, I'm not really feeling any pain. So she said, okay, I must drive come to her house, because at this point I was by my house. So she said, I must drive come to her house. So at that point I was kind of like skeptical, like, oh, should I be driving, you know? I thought my labor partner was supposed to pick me up, but anyways, I was saying, since I'm not in any pain, but then I was kind of scared, like, what if I start driving and then that's when the pain comes. But either way, she said I must drive come to her house. So I drove and I went. And then on my way now, I was starving. At that point I didn't even know that I was not supposed to eat, because all through this I was saying, yeah, it's going to be a natural delivery, I'm going to have a water birth, all of that, and I don't think me eating is a problem. But you know, I was starving. So I called back my mom and I was like, can you make me an egg sandwich? I'm on my way, can you make me an egg sandwich, because I'm really hungry. Tell me why this lady hang up on me. The lady hang up on me. The lady hang up on her daughter, 9 months pregnant and hungry. She hang up on me. She hang up on me. The lady said, don't call me back until I reach at the house. Beep, beep, beep. I was dumbstruck. I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, obviously, I think maybe that was probably like my 3rd time calling her. I'm not even sure. I don't even remember exactly. But clearly she was pissed off by the fact that I was calling her again. But I was like, you know, being as I'm in labor, I was expecting that she'd be up and, you know, getting ready to leave and all of that. They said, don't tap on the phone until they reach at the house. Hang up. It's like, shit. Okay. Damn. So at that point, me start reconsidering. I was like, did I make the right decision? You know, is she fit to be my delivery partner? Because this isn't behavior I would expect. But you know, I say, you know what? Let me just remain positive, try not to get angry, focus on getting through this damn day. So I finally got to the house, I parked, and then I went inside. Tell me why? Lights still off, everybody's still asleep. It's 5 o'clock in the morning now, yeah, sure. But I called this lady like half an hour ago to an hour ago. Not even half an hour, actually more like an hour ago, because I actually had to get ready and all of that before I left out. I think I did even bathe as well before I go. I don't even remember. But I called this lady like almost an hour ago. And you mean to tell me that the lady's still in her bed? I was pissed off. So when I opened the door and I realized that, I said, Mommy! Then like a couple minutes, not even a minute, a couple seconds to a minute, I said the lady walk out and she's like, oh, what? People, tell me no. Tell me something about it for just cut and go on by myself. Because what's the point? The lady come out in her night dress and ask me what? The lady come out in her night dress and ask me what? No, I honestly, I don't think that any of that was, I don't even think that was normal. But obviously my emotions are high, so I'm saying, you know, let me just calm down, let me just not get pissed off. But honestly, if it was anybody else, I would have gone off. I would have been cursing from ears till the morning. But I was just like, breathe, Kiana, breathe. I think I responded and I said, what do you mean what, or something like that, and then we kind of just kissed my teeth and walked back out of the house. And I went to my car and sat down, and I was just pissed off, trying to calm down. And people, I was sitting in my car for another like 20 to 30 minutes before she actually got ready and, you know, come out and whatever. But all in all, my day was off to a shitty start with that happening. So either way, she came and my sister came as well, Tyne. So I kind of moved because I had all my bags, my hospital bags in my car, because technically I wasn't sure who was going to be my delivery partner 100% because my mother was in Spain, so I was debating back and forth. So either way, I had my bags transferred from my car to her car, and then in the transfer I actually ended up leaving my hospital notes, which are kind of what we use in the UK while we're in labor and all of that, leading up during the pregnancy, leading up to labor. You use your notes so that everybody can see kind of your care and all of that. So I left that in my car. But anyways, before I even noticed that, transferred my bags to her car, then I kind of just told Tyne to go to the front seat and I went to the back. Even that, she was like, oh, so why Tyne I got a front seat? I was like, you know, so you can't really please Jamaican mothers. Jamaican mothers will ride your last nerves. And it's not even just Jamaican mothers, because I'm pretty sure I see African people complain about the same thing. So maybe it's just black mothers in general. But either way, I just wanted to go to the back so I could lie down. So I didn't even pay any mind. So we got there, now we got to the hospital. Me and Tyne came out the car and she was going to park and then walk back because the parking isn't at the same place. So that's when I realized that I left my notes, because as soon as I walk in and I told her that I think I'm in labor, she asked for my notes. So I called mommy same time and I tell her that I think I left the notes in my car. So she basically drove back to get them. So during that time, no, I was just sitting in the waiting area there, and then the contractions were coming. Like even in the car coming to the hospital, I was having contractions. No, they were far apart and they weren't lasting long. So the labor was basically just getting started. So we were advised during like the labor classes and stuff to actually go through the first part of labor at home. So for the first few hours of labor, stay at home, and then when the contractions start to come out, is it 3 minutes apart and lasting for 30 seconds or more, I don't remember, something like that, then that's when you're going to the hospital. But in my case, I had GBS. Basically with that, once your water breaks, the baby is actually at a risk of contracting an infection. So because I had that, I just had to go straight into the hospital. I couldn't do the first part of labor at home like they had suggested. So that's why I ended up going in early, and then I was just there having contractions and stuff. They weren't as painful yet, but they were painful. At the time when I was having them, I didn't even know it was going to get worse. But yeah, I was just there, still kind of hungry, but at this point, because I was in pain, I wasn't even thinking about eating food anymore. I was just like, ugh, I can't do this. Because honestly, it was getting to be a lot. It was getting to be a lot. By the way, I did record most of my labor and delivery. I don't know, I might insert a few clips in this video, but I'm planning to upload that as a video on its own after this one. So yeah. So eventually the nurse or whoever came and checked me in, checked my blood pressure, temperature, all of that. Then I was moved to another room. Basically this is the room before you go to the labor ward, and they give you a gown and stuff to put on. They kind of check to see how many centimeters dilated you are. When they checked, the lady was like, oh, about 1 to 2 centimeters. So you know you're supposed to get up to 10 centimeters. So I had a very long way to go and I was in a lot of pain. So I was pissed because I said, if I'm in so much pain now and I'm not even close to 10 centimeters, can I make it? So I was just there. They gave me some painkillers and stuff. Then eventually I went to the other room. So I told them that I wanted a water birth. In transferring me, they were kind of like, oh, so I wanted to go to the birthing center and I wanted to have a water birth, which would require me to get a room with a pool in it. So one became available, and apparently there was another lady who wanted a water birth. So then the two nurses were kind of like, yeah, but she was here first, which is me. I was here first, but they were trying to give it to somebody else. So I ended up getting the room, and the room was nice. I'm going to insert a clip of that now. Yeah, the room was very nice. You'll see the full video of it after this one. The room was really nice and it had the big pool in it and everything, so I was a bit excited, I'm not going to lie. But my plan going into this labor experience was I don't really want any drugs, so as little drugs as possible. If I can really get through this, then that would be great, because I don't know, I just have this fear, like I don't want my baby to be exposed to any unnecessary drugs. If I can manage to do it without it, then I will. So I chose gas and air as my selected pain reliever, which it doesn't really take away pain. Gas and air is like laughing gas. It doesn't really take away pain. It kind of just distracts you in a way, or it's meant to distract you. It kind of just gets you high. So I don't really think it was helping me that much. I don't know, maybe it would have been worse if I didn't have it, I'm not sure, but I was still very much in pain. So I was just there blowing, pulling, blowing, pulling, blowing, pulling, blowing. Every time I'm getting a contraction, I'm inhaling the gas and breathing out and all of that. So yeah, I was just there suffering basically. And then my goal now was to try and get my dilation going, because as I said, I was only 1 to 2 centimeters. So I started trying to walk around a bit, and I used a peanut ball and all of that to try and bounce and just kind of open my legs and stuff. When she checked again, she was like, oh no, this is definitely just 1 centimeter. So the 2 centimeter came off the table, it's just 1. I was like, damn. So basically they say, they're gonna give me a few more hours, then come and check again. And then the check-in is just them inserting them hands and stuff, so it's a bit painful. So they're trying to limit the amount of times that they actually have to do it, especially being as the baby is not protected. So I was just there, and honestly in pain, suffering, annoyed, pissed off, hungry, frustrated. All of the negative feelings I can't even think to describe was going through my head. So because mind you, I started going into labor at 5 a.m. in the morning. We got to the hospital like maybe after 6:30 thereabouts, and then